far would you go for a few minutes of fame? Would you be willing to leave your family, your friends, take someone else's life, your own life? The first time I heard that question was from the mouth of my boss when I was just 24 years old. I was much younger and more ambitious than I am now. My dream was to be the best journalist in the country. I wanted to be on every newscast, in every newspaper, in the wrong place at the wrong time. You sure about this, Kenny?
Claire, my source is 100% real.
I don't know. Even if Red Tarzan is willing to give us an interview, would it be interesting?
All the UFC fans will go crazy. Dorsey was one of the most violent and ruthless fighters in the ring. Nobody knows what his life about. Some think he's dead, others think he's back in Russia, and they'll be surprised to see that he's still here.
What have I got to lose?
Yes!
By the way, new chain?
Oh, yeah. Ever since my grandmother survived the operation, I've been wearing it. Don't make me hide it.
Huh. Cute. You can keep it. A few days later, Kenny and I headed for the meeting point the man gave us. The drive down the road was long and tedious, but that only fueled my spirit of adventure. We got out of my truck, and in front of us, we saw an abandoned factory. Kenny looked terrified, but I already knew what we were in for. I had looked up the coordinates on Google Maps before we came.
I'm not so sure I want to come here anymore.
I felt the opposite. I was very excited. I'm a little scared too, Kenny. I lied. But don't worry, this is what journalists are supposed to do. Besides, this man won't do anything to us. He knows we're coming to see him, and that we probably told someone else we were here.
Then why is he calling us to a place as empty as this?
Let's go in and find out. When I opened the door and walked in, I felt like I was entering another world. The roof was broken, and unlike outside, the whole place was trashed, littered with food wrappers, newspapers, and beer bottles. Inside the place, there were 3 young men. 2 of them had their faces covered, and the tallest and largest was bare-faced and wearing a shirt that clashed with the scenery. Red Tarzan had dressed up for the interview. As soon as he saw us, he greeted us with a huge smile and gave a quick look at the other 2 young men, who left the way we came in.
Friends, sit down. I was waiting for you.
Thank you for your hospitality. You are Red Tarzan, aren't you?
I don't know who else would be this size. Yes, I am.
Nice to meet you. I'm Claire, and this is my cameraman, Kenny. Is it okay if we start right away?
Of course. I like straightforward women.
I smiled at him, but his comment disgusted me. Where have you been? Many fanatics think you went to Russia, or that you were dead.
I've been everywhere. Killing people, robbing some places, stepping on puppies.
His answer caught me totally off guard. Oh, in a metaphorical sense, or?
What does metaphorically mean?
I mean, you didn't kill.
Yes, I did.
This recording we're making is being transmitted directly to the studio. Aren't you afraid of being arrested?
Not at all. By the time you guys upload that, I'll be gone. And if the police come now, well, I'll have to take them hostage. Claire, this is getting out of hand.
And why are you telling us this, Red?
Because I love the cameras. I love television. I may not have had a successful career in the UFC, but somehow I'll be famous, and no one will stop me.
So, how did you kill them?
What? Why would you ask him that question? At the beginning, I was messier. After a while, I would break their legs and arms, and while they were on the ground defenseless, I would make them watch me eat them. I would tear off their skin with my teeth and devour them while they watched me.
You're lying. I studied psychology. It's very easy to tell when someone's lying. I had never studied psychology. This was another lie.
Are you calling me a liar?
Furious, he grabbed my neck with one hand and started to squeeze.
Nobody calls me a liar.
Even though he only used one hand, I couldn't get free. The man had a lot of strength. I was running out of air in my lungs until, in an impulse of pain, my attacker released me. On the other side was Kenny, who had broken a wooden chair on the man's back.
What did you just do? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God! 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 Is that a cross? You know what, you fucking asshole? I detest people who believe in God. I detest Catholic people, and I detest inferior people like you. Please don't hurt me. I haven't done anything to you. It should not be to God that you pray, but to me, my son. I, the great red-haired Tarzan, the son of God Perrin. Those who believe in Jesus, Mossad's spy, will be judged to eternal flame. I will be the one to send you to purgatory, sinner, and for the good of your soul, you will leave behind all the chains of sin and join the true God. No, please, no! I don't want to die!
Kenny! As they both fell to the floor, I threw down the taser that I had brought in case something went wrong and went to lift my partner. With great effort, I lifted him into the car, and in the distance, I heard a furious roar. I accelerated the car as much as I could, and when I turned around, he was behind us, running in our direction from farther and farther away, until after a few minutes, we lost him.
Hey, thanks again, Claire. You saved me.
You're welcome, kid. You know I wasn't going to leave you there.
The boss wants to talk to you, though. He's furious.
I know.
You know you almost killed Kevin, right? I shouldn't have trusted you. You're a rookie. You don't have what it takes.
I know, boss.
When I asked you what you'd be willing to sacrifice, you said you'd sacrifice everything. Yet you didn't sacrifice the life of a damn cameraman!
Sorry, boss. It was the perfect plan. I knew Red Tarzan hated Catholics, and that Kenny would wear his chain. I knew that if I provoked him enough, Tarzan would explode. And I also knew that under pressure, his schizophrenic traits would come out. Everything was perfect. I just couldn't bring myself to let him die.
Claire, it was a live death. Do you know how that would have benefited us? You didn't even get the tape of the interview back. Girl, rethink if this career is for you. In the meantime, you'll keep covering small events.
Yes, boss. Sorry. Kenny quit within weeks because of mistreatment at work. Me, I never had an opportunity like that again. Today, I'm an entertainment journalist. Sometimes I think about my decision that day, and I don't regret it. But you know what? A part of me, however small, regrets not letting Red kill Kenny.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can change your mind later. Enjoy. I have been a fan of the Ultimate Fighting Championship for about 3 years. The excitement and adrenaline that the fights generate in me is not compared to any other situation I have experienced in my life. That's why I go to these regularly. But I never thought I would have such an unpleasant and traumatizing experience there as I did last week. On that occasion, the fight was between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. The plan was to go to the event with one of my friends, but he finally couldn't, so I decided to go on my own. In the first round, the excitement began to spread in the audience. And once the second started, you could hear the shouts of enthusiasm from the people throughout the entire room.
Yeah! Come on!
I wanted Dustin to be the winner, but it seemed that it was going to be Charles instead. Whatever the outcome, my heart couldn't have been beating faster. By the time the second round was over, I felt like my throat was shredded from screaming. I wanted to stay there while I waited for the next round, but I really needed to go to the bathroom, so I walked through the crowd to the hall on one side of the huge room. As I made my way to the bathroom, I realized how excited the audience was with the fight, as no one had wanted to leave their spot, even to go to the bathroom, unlike me, so not a soul was in that area of the building. There, almost at the end of the hall, the noise of the event and the people seemed to have distorted enough for it to be ignored.
Shit, I'm not gonna notice when they continue. I better do this quick.
After opening the door and entering the bathroom, I realized that no one was actually there, since all the doors were open. Soon, I walked over to one of the stalls, closed it, and, started doing what I needed to do. The silence of the room was only being disturbed by my breathing and the other sounds I caused, at least until I heard someone start to open the door. But it was strange because it seemed that they had only opened it a little, as if they just wanted to see what was inside. What had it been? I could have sworn I heard a deep voice laugh with malice and enthusiasm. The creak of the door, once it was fully opened, echoed throughout the room, as did the crash when the person closed it, surprising me. The sound of the stranger's heavy footsteps made me notice that he was approaching the bathroom stalls. A strong smell of alcohol, tobacco, and sweat filled my nostrils as the man approached. Damn, was what I thought. Suddenly, the door of the bathroom stall next to me was slammed shut.
Fucking drunk.
The strong smell coming from that man was making me dizzy. In fact, I couldn't even concentrate on finishing what I was doing since I didn't feel comfortable at all. So I decided to just clean myself up and get out of the bathroom. But before that, I heard something.
I can smell you. Are you talking to me? Your smell is strong. I can smell you. I like it.
My heart started beating fast again, but this time, it wasn't a good sign.
What the heck, man? You drank too much.
The bad feeling that began to grow inside of me only made things worse, as together with that smell, it gave me a rather annoying headache. So I closed my eyes and massaged my head in an attempt to get better. But the second I opened my eyes again...
Shit!
He was looking at me from under the bathroom stall with no expression on his face.
What the heck do you think you're doing? I can smell you. No shit, we're in the bathroom. I wanted to smell you up close. I wanted to see you.
I remained silent, looking at him while I thought about what he had said for a few seconds.
What the heck? Don't you like it? Like what? Get out of here! Or what?
Soon, I turned on my cell phone and activated the camera.
I'm recording you. Go away! You're sick, man!
After making some strange expressions, he backed away. I sighed in an attempt to calm down, and then cleaned myself up, flushed the toilet, and reached my hand to the door of the bathroom stall to open it. I tried to get out of his grasp quickly, but he was really trying not to let go.
Damn it! Let go!
Soon, with my left foot, I hit his arm. I can swear I even heard a crack.
Ah! Sick bastard!
I ran out of the bathroom while hyperventilating. Since I was so dizzy and anxious, I bumped into a woman, but I didn't stop.
Sir?
I still had this horrible combination of odors stuck in my nose, making me want to vomit. So before I could reach the end of the hall, I had no choice but to stop. It seemed as if everything around me was moving, so I leaned against one of the walls and I tried to take a deep breath.
Are you all right?
I knew the woman who was talking to me was the same one I bumped into, but I didn't want to turn to see her.
There's a creep in the bathroom.
Huh?
I felt intense anger and frustration, so this time I turned to yell at her.
A creep! There's a creep in the bathroom!
The woman, part of the cleaning crew at the place, just stared at me in surprise.
What's the problem here?
A security guard seemed to have heard me, so soon he walked over to us and positioned himself next to her.
There's a creep in the bathroom! He stared at me and, well...
The woman looked away from me with a guilty expression on her face.
I'm not sure what he wanted to do, but he said some weird shit, okay? And then... Sir, I think you need to rest. I'm terrified. I don't need to rest. I need you to do something about that creepy-ass man. I will, but please keep your distance. What the? Ugh!
After that, I left the place. I couldn't stay there knowing that creep was close by. I tried to forget what had happened as best I could, but days later, I realized something that grossed me out. I saw a photo of one of the fighters with the owner of the place I had gone to. He was that man. Growing up as a kid, I loved wrestling. I and my dad would always watch wrestling matches together. He was a big fan of UFC. I loved watching all the moves and tactics the wrestlers would pull off during fights. We couldn't afford live tickets, though. My dad was the only one who worked, while my mom took care of me and my 5 other siblings. We weren't poor by all means. We just couldn't afford to go and spend extra money on things like that. But I was so happy the day before my birthday when my dad told me that he got tickets for him and I to go to a local amateur-type wrestling event that was coming to our town at the Veterans Center. It was going to be just me and him watching some guys get hit and spend that time with my dad. We got to the venue extra early. There were some wrestlers who were selling their t-shirts and meeting fans. Dad proudly patted my back and told me I could get a t-shirt from one of the wrestlers I wanted. So I approached this guy who was sitting in the corner. No other kid was going to him, maybe because of his attire. He looked like a distorted Arnold Schwarzenegger, if it makes any sense. His face seemed pumped like he had injected something under his skin to turn himself into a look-alike of the famous actor. I couldn't believe it at first, but as our eyes met, he gave me a big, creepy smile. But still, I approached him.
Hey, could I have a t-shirt?
Of course. What's your name?
Chad.
He gave me a t-shirt and asked,
Tell me, Chad, do I seem familiar to you?
I wasn't expecting him to ask this, but being a 10-year-old, I answered with honesty.
Yeah, you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. Some even say I look better than him.
Really?
He understood the mockery in my voice, and his vulture eyes scanned me from top to bottom.
Are you making fun of me, Chad?
No, nope. So, have you ever met Arnold?
I did one time, but you know he uses steroids to gain all those muscles?
What? I don't think so. I mean, he is a beast. He has worked hard to be where he is now. People make all the false statements.
You don't know anything about him. He lied. I know how much it takes to have that perfect body. That's why people say mine is better than his.
Now, I just couldn't keep going on with this Arnold's clone. I realized he was probably the one who pushed steroids or God knows what under his skin to get that filthy-looking body.
I'm gonna go.
Saying this, I turned around and saw my dad waiting for me.
Come on, Chad. The game's about to begin. Hurry up.
We sat down and the match started. One by one, fighters fought each other, and though it wasn't UFC, still, it was a lot of fun. But the entire time we watched the game, I could see the creepy Arnold watching me. I didn't ask for his name, so I had no idea who that guy was. What felt even weird was the fact that he didn't take part in any of those fights. Just sat in the corner, and the audience stood and watched me. Once the fight was over, we got up to leave for home. My dad and I were walking down the corridor when I spotted this vending machine.
Dad, can I get a soda?
Sure, go ahead. I'll wait here.
He handed me some money, and I walked straight to the vending machine. I just grabbed the soda that rolled down from the machine when I felt a tight grasp on the back of my neck. Someone was choking me from behind. My eyes captured the reflection that fell on the glass of the vending machine, and I saw who it was. It was that I Wanna Be Arnold whom I ignored a few movements back. The corridor had become empty by then, and his grasp was so tight that I could barely scream. My eyes slowly shifted to my dad, and I saw him standing at some distance, talking to someone over the phone. He had his back facing me, so even if I kicked my hands in the air for help, he couldn't see me. The creepy Arnold brought his filthy-smelling mouth near my ear and whispered,
Now do you realize how strong I am? This is what you get for mocking me, kid!
I wanted to say something, but I could feel my voice getting stuck in my throat. I started gagging and panting in fear. I wanted to scream for my dad, but he was going on with the phone call. Suddenly, the last chance to save myself from the psycho came to my mind. I had the soda can in my hand. I swung my hand in full force and hit him on the cheek quite hard. Feeling a terrible pain, he let go of me, and my dad turned around hearing the sound. He saw me lying on the ground, gasping for air, and this crazy dude standing close to me holding his swollen face.
I will kill you!
He again came towards me, but I heard my dad's rushing footsteps and threat.
Keep your filthy hand away from my son!
He jumped on the man and punched him in the eyes. The man fell to the ground, and I saw my dad sitting over him, running down on him with punches and slaps. Security came running. They grabbed my dad to separate him away from that man. By then, his face was plumped like an eggplant. He had bruises and a black eye. The cops were called, and security kept eyes on this man until they arrived. When the cops finally arrived and were taking him away in their car, he yelled at me saying,
I am the real Arnold. The whole world will know it one day. You are all making a huge mistake. I will be back, and I will have revenge, kid. Remember, I will prove to you who is the real deal.
I later found out that this man once sneaked into Arnold's parking area, and he actually met the famous celebrity. He not only went overboard with his limits, but he also accused Arnold. I finally understood that by not being able to catch Arnold's attention, he decided to shower his hate comments and slowly turned himself into a clone of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It even came to a larger shock when I got to know that this man used to be a UFC fighter himself. But after getting into a feud with Arnold's security, he started taking steroids and has gone through innumerable plastic surgeries to make himself look like the famous celebrity. By hating the very man he was obsessed with all this time, the creep showed me how twisted some fans' minds can be.